But yeah, Kenny Sebastian. We're honored to have with us the voice of Indian sports, Charu Sharma, a renowned sports commentator, anchor, and the visionary director behind the Pro Kabaddi League. Pro Kabaddi has taken over. Um, it has its own magnitude. If you're a fan of kabaddi, I hope that you've played kabaddi. I mean, me being a North Indian, we've played our fair share of kabaddi. But if not, guys, you have to Google it and you have to know how it is played because it's a fun game to play with your friends. Now, with decades of experience across multiple sports and reputation as one of India's most respected broadcasters, Charu will be our quiz master for the AI on day 3. So if you're participating in the AI quiz, all the best to you all. On day 3, get ready for a grand finale filled with laughter as we welcome Kenny Sebastian, one of India's beloved stand-up comedians. And believe me when I say, I used to watch him when I was younger. Guys, I pinky swear on this, I have manifested him. I mean, I used to just dream. But I'm telling you, just keep on dreaming. Apart from science, manifestation works. It's also some sort of science. We'll figure it out. Later. Alligator. Yes, sir. Nobody likes jokes here. Nobody likes smiling here. I have really bad jokes though, but yeah. He's known for his sharp wit, relatable humor, and captivating stage presence. Kenny will close Cypher 2025 with an unforgettable performance, leaving us with joy and lasting memories. So I hope that apart from being so serious, so sturdy, and smileless, you'll have some fun time with Kenny. At least you'll laugh on his jokes. No? Yeah? Yeah? Say something, Bengaluru people, what's up? Okay, I'm just gonna ignore you as you ignore me. But I can't, I've been paid hefty for this. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to get serious. Before we start the sessions, let's take a moment to express our heartfelt gratitude to the incredible sponsors who have made Cypher 2025 possible. Cypher 2025 is presented by NextGen, powered by GenPact, in association with Snowflake, ecosystem sponsors, KTech. It's a startup from Karnataka, and is supported by Government of India, platinum sponsors, Cisco, 11 Labs, LinkedIn, Tredence, AI cloud partner, NASA, gold sponsor, EXA, EPAM, Tiger Analytics, Uber AI Solutions, silver sponsor, Epsilon, Lowe's, Skyflow, Data Pelago, exhibit sponsors. I request you all to please keep on clapping as I take the names of our sponsors. Exhibit sponsors are Alstom, Burns McDonnell, EM Alpha, EXL, Firebolt, Jigsaw, Ignite AI, Kritima IQ, Nav AI, New Relic, Orme, Cybernova, Setnex, SmartQ, Walmart Global Tech, Gyan SYS, Lauren Group, Navana, NewGen, Primforce, WebMap, and it's a new one, guys. I've just written it down, and the last one is Xflow. So hoping that these 3 days will be full of learning, connecting with great minds, and full of fun competitions for you. Now, without any further delay, let's kick off today's exciting sessions. Are we ready for it? If you're going to give me this sort of, just let me come back on my jazz. Okay. Guys, I understand that, we have some of the greatest minds in the auditorium with us today. But I need you people to, give the enthusiasm out to me too. I'm literally on 2 hours of sleep here for other things too, but for you all, right? So can we just smile a little? Great, babe. Okay. And a little response every time I say something, and I'm expecting a reaction out of you would be great. Please don't behave like my ex-boyfriend. Triggers me, do not appreciate. All right, ladies and gentlemen. I hope that you've gotten the gist of why am I so triggered. The next wave of AI innovation is moving away from building larger models towards creating smaller, smarter, and more efficient ones. This session explores why that is. We'll dive into the rise of small language models, that is SLMs, like Microsoft's PHI-4 and Google's Gamma 3 270M, which deliver powerful AI capabilities on everyday devices with limited resources. Ladies and gentlemen, the first session of the day is by yours truly. And as I take his name, you better clap for him and invite him with all the love that you have in your heart. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands up for Mr. Tanay Pratap, founder and CEO at Invact Metaversity. A software engineer by profession, he has played a key role in developing large-scale Microsoft applications such as Teams and Outlook. For the first session of Cypher 2025, let's welcome on stage Tanay Pratap.
Hello. Oh, wow. Awesome. So when I entered this room, there were like 10 folks, and I can live with disappointing 10 folks at a time. Now this hall is all filled, and good that I'm not wearing an Apple Watch, because then it would give me notification your heart rate is out of bounds, even though you're not working out. Is everything all right? And I would say, no, nothing is all right. I mean, the most amazing minds of AI in India is here to listen to this nachis. Obviously, very, very exciting. Okay, there will be the slides would be there. And this area is for me. Cool. Okay. Bear with me, guys. I'm a little nervous because so the team was troubling me whole night. Sir, send the slides, please. Send the slides, please. I was working on the slides till 3 a.m., trying to put everything I'm excited about on this, cutting down things, adding things, 80 slides, a lot of work to do in the next 30 minutes, and already she has taken like 10 minutes of my time. So I know her jokes were bad, but my jokes are good. You can laugh on my jokes, yes? Yeah. See, you want, guys, please give a clap for me. You see, there's a reaction here. You have to work. You have to work for it, okay? So why am I so nervous or excited about this is because let's start going to this. Who am I? I am many people. I am a husband to my wife. I am a teacher. I am an entrepreneur. I am not a scientist. I don't have any knowledge in machine learning. I don't write academic papers. Little bit of lie there. I do write some papers, but I'm not like you guys. I'm not a machine learning specialist in any form or shape. But I'm very, very excited about engineering, building things at scale. At Microsoft, I worked on Teams. I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry for that. Then I worked on Outlook. Sorry again. And like huge pieces. Then I went into entrepreneurship, built Metaversity. So I strive on the cutting edge engineering scale pieces and get very excited about things. I'm also a teacher. I have close to 500,000 followers. And I was telling myself, dude, your videos get like so many views. Why are you so nervous about it? But those are students. You guys are like bosses of the field already, right? So little bit that. This was the question with which I went into AI. From last 1.5 years, we are hearing classic Indian cribbing that we can't do shit in AI because we don't have the GPUs. We can't do SOTA models here, frontier LLMs here. That's $1 billion or like maybe like a $500 billion question these days. So me being someone who has a lot of curiosity in the field, went into AI with this question. Yeah, no wealth. Uh, when the roads are so bad, how can we expect government to invest in AI? Sorry, too soon? At least we are not Gurgaon, guys. I mean, at least not that bad. Come on. Right? Yeah, so we don't have this. So what do we have? I started reading papers, anything which I could read, anything which I could get my hands on, started trying to build something, looking for India's liver. And this is where I went that, bigger wasn't always better. And this comes from a lot of my own engineering side, experience, is because when I was at Microsoft, we had like Outlook Web, which was used by 100 million users, and it was a huge app, web app. And then there as well, I wanted that there is, those five, I mean, you guys are very, very rich, but there are phones which are 5,000 rupees, feature phones, geo phones. Like people you don't see, they have those phones. Like, do you guys know there are these feature phones? Yes. Come on, nod at least. Yes, I'm a teacher. I need some participation, guys. Yeah, come on. Huh? So so I created a 10 KB Outlook for it, like 10 KB, that small. We shipped it to folks there, and it was nice. So there is this thing going on. And then when we built Metaverse, we built it on less than 8 MB on web, so that you don't have to download like 500 MBs or GBs of installer for it. So I feel that, sometimes small was smarter. And with that same hypothesis, went into AI. And I think there's a meta lesson here, right? Like this paper, attention is all you need, changed everything. Let's, for the next few minutes, pay attention to small language models, SLMs. So all I need from you today is attention and a little bit of energy. I mean, there were 3 halls. You chose this hall. I don't know why, right? But if you did, at least participate, right? So that's all I need. I need your attention for the next 35 minutes of this talk. And all I promise is when you go out of this talk, you will have at least one thing more in your option set. Okay, whether we want to do SOTA, whether we want to do AGI, whether you want to do something else, that's okay. But having one more tool in your tool chain is always going to help you. And I'm going to make a case for it. Don't take my words for it. I will dissect my own thinking with you here. But before getting into it, what are SLMs? Before that, words have power, right? Like one thing which we have learned recently is words have power. They have a semantic meaning. When you think about something, there is a word cloud. When you think about Gurgaon these days, you think about drowning. When you think about Bangalore these days, you think about buses tripping, right? Traffic. Oh, you guys didn't know the bus tripped, the school bus tripped? Yeah, that was a big deal. You didn't know. Oh, see, Bangalore, and you don't know this. There was a Panathur road, and the bus was like this, and the school kids were like this, right? So now when you have, yeah, oh my God. I am so sorry to ruin your morning, but this happened like a few days back. So when you look at these words, you have these images. So when you look at SLM as small, you have this image, right, in your mind, which is like weaker, cheaper, less capable. Like, bachchu hai yaar, udhar baith ja tu. Let the grown-ups, let the LLMs talk. Let the SOTA talk. Let us make AGI. What is this? This is something I don't want you to take away from this talk or even get into it. Small is not weak. Small is not useless. Small is not compromise. So let's shift the word, the SLM word in our minds first, which is, let's say SLM is strategic. Small is just a feature. It's not a bug. The real point here is strategic deployment, and I'm going to talk about deployment a lot because, again, engineer, I don't understand the math of KQV. What is that? Oof. Easier to adapt is something I'm going to run through with this entire thing. Cheaper to host and run. We like that. India likes that. We don't need mega data centers for it. You don't need like a city-wide data center to train this, build this, deploy this, inference, nothing. You can run a meaningful model on a modest hardware here. And again, I mean, somewhere it said, SLMs won't deliver AGI tomorrow, but who will? I don't know. You know, let's place bets. I don't know. Like, the jury is still out. GPT-5 was supposed to be, oh my God, moment for entire AI. It's good, but still no AGI on the horizon. So I don't want to chase something which is far away into the future. I want to do something which is practical and now. What can we do with AI for India today? SLM, give us an answer. I'll walk you through it. It's practical, affordable, deployable. Before we get into SLM, what qualifies as an SLM? Like, I was just coming right now, and I was reading a research paper. Yeah, I do read it sometimes, at least the abstract part. And I saw someone saying 37 billion model, and they were classifying it as SLM, but the scale is moving. So for this purpose, for our talk purposes, we call 100 million to 7 billion parameters as small, because the SOTA models are running at 175 and even closer to 1 trillion now. So again, reminder, yes, small is not weak, small is strategic. Ready? You are with me? There are examples across range. You have 100 million to 500 million parameter models which are doing great in routing embedded agents. You have 1 billion to 3 billion which are doing great on edge apps. And there are 7 billion models which were very powerful but still deployable. Okay? And don't take my word for it. I mean, who am I? Nothing. I can just get some laughs out of you. But even that is something right now. But don't take my word for it. Microsoft is on it. Amazon is on it. Apple is on it. It's shipping SLM to your phone. Google has shipped SLMs to your phone. Google is on it. ByteDance is on it. DeepSeek is on it. Alibaba is on it. They have all published papers. They have all published, like Microsoft's Phi 2, Phi 3, Phi 4. The Phi series actually changed the game with the tiny stories. I mean, if you want to read the paper, Tiny Stories is a beautiful paper from where the whole game for SLM start. But they are all on it. So it is not me it's not my foundation model hallucinating to find out an answer. Looks like there are a lot of people out there who are working on this. Big companies, big teams. It's not a fringe research. It's not just for startups. Every big player today is investing in SLMs. Are SLMs good? How good? I mean, don't take my word for it. Let's see. This model, Phi 3 mini model, 3.8 billion, comparable on some benchmarks. Again, a large language model is good at many things. A strategic language model or an SLM is good on one thing, but really good at that thing if you trained well. So this model basically challenged GPT 3.5 to some extent. I mean, come on, it's impressive. Phi 2, 25x larger model, beats sometimes. I don't really see the beating part very necessary. I just see there's capability in this idea. Because benchmarks, the benchmark games are, honestly, I'm not a fan of it. But these models are doing really, really well. This one I haven't tried yet, but it says it beats or it matches SOTA on tool calling, outperforming GPT-4. I mean, even making these claims from a company like Salesforce, it's not a small claim to do, right? So definitely worth checking it out. The 0.5 version I checked, it's actually better. This one is a retro model, GPT-3 level performance with just 7.5 billion parameters. Not visible, no? So good that I had. This is not visible. Yeah. What changed? Now, here is the million-dollar question. If I'm saying that at 2, 3, 4 billion parameters, the game has changed, then why did we go for like 100 and 500 billion parameter models, like scaling laws and whatnot? We built all of our hypotheses on this. So what changed? I mean, if this was truth, what I just said, then GPT-2 was good enough. GPT-2 had 1.5. Why didn't it dominate? A lot of things have changed since then. So let's take a quick understanding of how SLMs are trained today and why they are so effective at such lower parameter range as well. Again, feature, that's a feature. GPT-2 is 40 GB. The problem with this was it was noisy web crawl. I think everybody here understands what web crawl is, what web crawl data is, right? So the game here changed when people realized, when they published these papers, they realized that you can train an LLM or language model in that case on unstructured data, and it will learn few things. It will learn things, there will be emergent properties, and that will be intelligent in its own right. Or, think of this. We can let a kid go out and say, experience the world as much as possible, full day, come back, and you might have learned something if you are exposed to, say, this for 1,000 days. Or the education model, wherein a teacher teaches the kid what to learn, how to learn. So this is called textbook style training, right? You have a very curated set of data. This is what you need to learn. And on that, when these folks, these big folks started training, they started achieving these results. So the big change in Mindshift was from web crawl to textbook style training. So nod what kare yaar. Am I making some sense? Yes. This makes sense. Even in common sense, it makes sense that, going across learning everything versus a teacher, a private teacher, a private trainer teaching you something, you learn faster, obviously. You learn with minimal data. So that is what has changed. Not just that. So this is what textbook quality synthetic data. I didn't get too much into the clinical camel model, but this model, if you want to look into it, I don't understand medicine that much, but they trained a medicine model at much lower parameter count, which performed much better than the current SOTA models. Very interesting. Couldn't get time to get into it, but definitely worth checking out. You don't need 1 trillion tokens if half are garbage. Smaller but sharper data sets win. So my hypothesis here is data curation is going to be the new scaling law. And again, I'm not saying dismiss AGI, don't do AGI. I'm saying do what you can do today. For $200, for $500, you can fine-tune a small language model, make something out of it, which is very, very useful. The way I went into this was I wanted to make a tutor for kids who are in low-yield schools, like sub 20,000 rupees per year fees. And can they learn math on edge? Like they don't need a GPU, just a 2 GB model running on a computer lab. And can they learn math through Socratic model? That was my interest getting into this. And I am close to it. I haven't published it yet. I haven't released it yet. But there is at least some possibility of doing something. Instead of sitting and thinking, either we can do agent, where we do prompt, all sorts of prompt wizardry, right? How to inject context in prompt, how to summarize. Or we can also learn how these models work, train our own pieces, fine-tune our own pieces, curate our own data sets, think about data pipelines ourselves, build some technological muscle inside. That is all I'm trying to say here, not dismissing AGI. Even this happened, right? These architectures are better. I'm trying to read around these things. I don't know half of this. But KV caching, these modern SLMs, GPT-2 was pure vanilla transformer, the one which you read in books today, like that archaic. The new training models are much better. So you have better data sets, better training models, better KV caching now. So all of that makes it much better than GPT-2. Better recipes, yes. Okay. So SLMs are not GPT-2 redux. There's cleaner data, there's evolved architecture, there's smarter training, and that equates to strategic power in SLMs. Cost advantage. Is this really cheap? Yes, it is. So you can serve a 7 billion model, which can do one job really well, 10 to 30x cheaper than the 70 billion, 175 billion model. cheaper from data center, faster inference, obviously less energy. So energy is a big problem across the SOTA model deployments and trainings, right? Thank you so much for nodding. You guys are very nice. Thank you. I need that nod. I'll start looking at this side of the class, and you guys have to nod now. Okay? Yeah, thank you. See, Miss Tripathi, people respond.
If that is what you call a response, Mr.
Okay,
Pratap.
I will get a clap also when I finish the talk. I'm
You guys, you better clap for me too.
I'm not promising a very hearty clap, but there will be a clap when I finish this talk.
We all have our dreams, Mr. Pratap.
So, new skills overnight. One thing which is amazing, which I am very amazed about this, is you can retrain these pieces, you can even fine-tune these pieces in GPU hours. So basically the constraint of not having GPU, and that's why you're not getting into language models, architecture, I see that getting lifted, at least for me mentally. And then it can run on phones, it can run on consumer GPUs, it can run private, offline, and fast. And I'll show you some examples of that as well. Yeah, one model in your pocket, 10x cheaper, 100x closer, you can host it anywhere. Even like my plan was to host it inside a lab of a school so that everybody can use it. You don't have to go to a cloud and come back and incur those traffic, cloud, everything cost. Huh? And 1000x more personal. This part, I'll come back to it again. But personal does not only mean from a consumer perspective. Think personal from your team perspective, your org perspective, your like billing, sales, marketing, your customer support, that perspective. Like you know your problems much, much better than ChatGPT. So personal has a lot of financial value if we pay attention. I have clever wordplay, amazing. Nod. Yes, clever wordplay. So if you pay attention to this word, there's financial value to this. Oh, people are taking notes. Oh my God. Itna bhi acha nahi hai. So yeah, media silence. Why are we not hearing, Mr. Nadella, who also happens to be alumni from my college, Flex, and Sundar Pichai and other folks talking about it. Like there should be, if I'm saying this, there should be people talking about it. Why not? I have a theory. You have spent so much money into something so big. Why would you talk about something which everybody can deploy, they can make their own? Bigger is better, story sells, right? Yeah, bigger is better, story sells. Comfortable? And as Ram Kapoor said, right, that bade achhe lagte hain. So, come on, guys, ये तो अच्छा joke था यार. You haven't heard about that serial? All only Tarak Mehta fan here. No other, no kyunki saas bhi koi bahu thi. No, okay. So bigger is better, story sells because they have spent so much money. Obviously, they have to talk it up, they have to hype it up a lot. SLMs don't fit this storyline. Everybody wants big AGI game. If you want to read, I wanted to include that in this talk, but I couldn't because of the time constraint. But if you want to read about it, you can read about the AI Plus initiative in China. It's very interesting from a SOTA LLM perspective, but also from an SLM perspective. What they are trying to do is they are trying to integrate AI at all levels in their industries. And if we try that, even if this room just goes and explores it a little bit, like how can I fine-tune a small model, give it to my customer support team, see whether it performs better than the SOTA models or not, we can do that. I mean, I don't want to sound anti-government, but how much can we expect when the buses are tilting? Now you know, right? So, AI on YouTube and everywhere, I see AI augmenting humans to do their job better. And that's where the bigger AGI story, the billion-dollar, trillion-dollar story doesn't fit. Because if you say 10% increment, 20% increment in workforce, productivity, who will pay you billions of dollars? Huh? जाओ यहाँ से. Do something else. Right? So obviously they have to come up with a big story that everybody will be replaced, we will all have UBI, universal basic income and whatnot. I think, theek hai. I mean, there are buyers to that. I want you people to buy this. Not little bit, thank you. Yeah. But people notice. Enterprises are experimenting with on-device AI, regulators, especially in Europe. Kuch to unka izzat hai. We got Type-C because of Europe on iPhones. See, first world problems. So, Europe regulators are pushing for privacy first. And I see a lot of this happening, like developers also, even engineers who understand a little bit about machine learning, a little bit about LLMs, they are basically fine-tuning a small model on their repository so that they can do better inference on their repository. Personal, remember? Cheaper, it's cheaper. And I don't know how many of you have seen people cribbing about Claude Code these days. Nobody? Okay, one person. So I'll tell you a story. Like I was like a power user of Claude Code. I was paying $200 a month for that because it was giving me that productivity. And suddenly they have started cutting down a lot, and it's barely usable these days. Like I spend 2-3 hours and I run out of credits every day. So inference costs at these SOTA models are getting higher because VCs are also not subsidizing it. Remember, how many of you remember, like, I don't know how many of you are old enough. Like, you look old. That's a commentary on our health. But 2012, 2015 timeline, Ola was saying, why buy a car when you can go 1 kilometer for ₹8 or ₹5? Remember this? Yes? Oh, this was so much response for Ola. We all feel cheated there. Sorry, Bhavish. So we all, and now what's the situation of Ola and Uber today? Like, you have to buy a car or a bike, or if Rapido gets, again, very low world problems, we are first world people. Forget who talks about Rapido in this conference. But that is the problem, right? When VCs stop subsidizing things, we start facing the real cost of this. And that's where I think people will start noticing SLMs. All I'm saying is, give some time to this in your mind, start investing, start exploring a little bit. Anybody knows this guy? He's very, very famous, by the way. No? Paras Chopra, Lost Funk founder? Few folks, cool. So he was playing with small language models. I think it's not readable, I'll read it. Small language models give me warm, fuzzy feelings. Google dropped this 270 million model Gemma, and it's absolutely wild how coherent and fast it is on my phone. Obviously, he's using iPhone 16 Pro Max at this point of time. So, locally installed, chatting without internet, and he's chatting with a local model on his phone. So, I found it interesting. Hype will catch up. SLMs equals to the quiet revolution is what I'm saying. Oh, people are taking notes. What is noteworthy here? Now, let's do part 2, utility. I hope I have convinced you enough till now that SLMs are worthy of a look at least. Like next 10-15 minutes, when you go home, you want to fire a Jupyter notebook or whatever you do, and try something like this. Like you can download a Quen 0.5 billion model, try to fine-tune it on whatever data you have. Like, you will do something, right? So let's now talk about the utility part. Like, what are things I think where it will work out very well. First thing is, there will be a culture shift. Labs chase leaderboards, biggest model wins, progress. Aged 2 years is a lot of time, right? Running out of time, I want to talk so much. This is what I've been stressing about. Can it solve my problem tomorrow? Think about whichever team you are working with. They have their own data. They have their own problems. They have their own chats. They have their own docs. The lingo of that team is different. Some people say action item. Some people's action. AI can mean action item in a lot of teams. Yes? No? Yes. So, and then somewhere we say, chill Madi boss, and these things, and then somewhere we start talking in English, somewhere we start introducing our own product keywords. So there's a lot of personalization happening inside each team, inside each function of your company, right? So whenever the model fails, the SLM model fails, your question should be, can it solve my problem tomorrow? Which you are doing today with an LLM via prompt engineering, because that's the only lever you have. You can have more levers, is all I'm saying. Overnight fine-tunes is what adapters make tuning light. Again, within hours, you will get a new model deployed tomorrow morning, tested again. It will be like the CI/CD age of AI. I would love that. New skills overnight. You will tune it on internal data sets. Even getting those, those approvals would be much easier. Boss, we are not going to take this data outside. Don't worry about it. Right? We will clean up. The PII will be cleaned up. Don't worry about it. Not sending it to ChatGPT. Don't worry about it. Private custom practicals. And this is the part I was saying earlier. Mirrors of org knowledge. What you know already will be embedded inside the model rather than you providing it in context and incurring costs of that every time, because it has no memory. So you just add the chat and then send again and hope, oh God, please. Is baar sahi answer de dena yaar. Right? You have seen this pain, right? I'm not the, thank you for nodding so. I'm not the only person who's struggling with this. Okay. Data is moat, not petabytes of junk web crawl, curated, clean, and contextual. Scaling law equals to data discipline. So every company, from my hypothesis, everywhere you, me, everyone will start collecting better data. Like I'm collecting better data now because I want to train that tutor thing which I talked about, the math tutor. So when I chat with folks, I see how I want to talk about, how I want to get back into something. You don't understand this problem, maybe do another problem which is much simpler, things like that. So data is going to be the moat. New teams, few ML researchers. No. So I think this is the first time someone is saying job loss on the other side, right? Flipping the script completely. Few ML researchers, more ML ops, data engineers, toolsmith. The metric should change or will change because you all saw that MIT study, 95% not working, like agentic AI not working. How many of you saw, thoda sa awaaz, halla kuch to karo yaar. Haan, a lot of people saw. So for someone who didn't hear about the bus and this study, I'm sorry. So there was this study around 95% of enterprise deployments of AI are failing. MIT did that survey. The stocks tanked after that a little bit, right? Why? Because whatever is working on benchmark need not work in your production system. My argument is, through this, we can try it, it might work. Useful is more than art, less about citations, more about outcomes. Kya likhta hu main yaar? Edge first, edge, phone, TVs, robots, browsers, all of this. Apple is already doing this. They have some on-device models already. Google is doing it. You have web LLM via web GPU. This, I feel, as a web developer, as a web engineer in my earlier avatar, I feel this is big because you don't want whoever is releasing the new AI browser reading all your browser history. I mean, take the most obvious case out of your mind for a second. Even then, you wouldn't want someone to go through your browser history or what pages you are seeing, what you are doing, things like that. It's very, very private, right? No? Yes. Oh, wow. Such response. So that there the privacy held. And even if you take the very, very obvious case out, right? Even then, the privacy of your browsing history is important. And what you are seeing, where you're spending time when you're scrolling, where you are paying attention, all of those things, you can't trust these big codes to start exploiting you at that level. I mean, that's what people want, but you don't want, right? Edge isn't an experiment, it's the new platform. Again, same thing. Let's quickly talk about agentic AI. I've been doing this research. I shouldn't call it research because you guys are real researchers here. I've been doing this exploration for quite some time. And few days back, I saw a paper floating across the internetverse, which actually put a lot of validation. As humans, we all crave validations. We have our own RLHF method. Base model को fine tune करना पड़ता है. You agree with me? Yes, +2. You agree with me? Yeah, +2. So my base model is getting trained. कि हाँ, ठीक है. Now I'm saying the right thing. Right? I mean, there is another hypothesis I'm working on. Maybe in the next talk, we will talk about it, is how we are also like LLMs. Somewhere. That very crazy thought process. Coming to this. Agentic AI. So a paper came flowing which said, and this is from NVIDIA, that agentic SLMs or small language models are the future of agentic AI. And I feel like, bola tha na main. I'm working with a professor to publish some of my research work. And I pinged him and I said, sir, did you see this paper? And like, yeah, Tana, it was good. You went early into this, so good investment that way. So this says, an agent is not a chatbot. It has, like, think of a real agent. Not that travel plan, booking, come on, that book my calendar. These are not agents. It takes 5 minutes to book your calendar, come on. They're very, very shoddy and bad examples of what agents can do. Agents can and should resolve internal cohesion problems and not book your flight. Like, how many of us take so much flight? Kisko itna flight book karna hai? Who wants to buy a shoe via agent? Shopping is so personal, wo to rehne do, right? So this is what they want. In a defined environment, go find out the best solution, act on it. Call a tool, which is called tool calling, call a tool, and then act on it. That's all it is. So NVIDIA folks, they argue that this workflows repeat, and SLMs can come as specialist modules here. So if you want to read one paper, two paper out of this whole talk, please read the tiny stories one. I really like that paper. It's very, very non-technical. It's very interesting how they have done the entire work. And then this paper, the NVIDIA paper. Beautiful paper, 10 pages only, very nicely argued, counter-argued, very well done. So they are saying SLMs are the future of agents because it's safer, it's cheaper, and then now they introduce another word here in our vocabulary, composable. So you can train an SLM for billing, for customer success, customer support, IT issues, payment issues, all of those you can have into multiple SLMs, and there could be an agentic router which is routing it to the right SLM to resolve. That's what they are arguing. That's what I think has a lot of future. Okay, no pressure. Costs drive shift, 7 billion. Again, same thing, latency and energy drop, making agents more affordable, and maybe doing a better job than LLMs in this regard. SLMs adapt fast, yes. Not one giant model, but many small experts is the architecture. NVIDIA guys, and I'm also saying, this could be another architecture towards expert language models. So we should name SLMs to expert language models rather than small language models. But that's a branding problem here in SLMs, actually. India's frontier in. We can't outspend US or China. Ab jo hai reality, so hai. What can we do about it? GPU and data center gap is too wide. Folks, this side, please nod. Yes, we all are struggling with this. Invest. We don't need billions. We don't need millions. We need brains. और वो हमारे पास बहुत है. Buddhi, जुगाड़. These are our words. We have that. And that's all I'm saying. Build some muscle. Even on a weekend, try doing this, try fine-tuning, deploying, do some eval, ship some model, not just code. Ship some SLM pieces. That will build muscle. This was a great lesson. We did something on budget of a Hollywood movie, Gravity, which others couldn't. So it's not like we haven't done this. It's not like it's not in our genetic code. that small can win, right? Oh, Elon Bhaiya is taking a trip to Mars. Okay, no problem. We can still do our own space explorations. This is also a space exploration. It's just in an n-dimensional space, right? Right, guys? Huh? This is another very, very big thing. 3 decades of IT leadership we had. Like, I mean, Infosys went public, I think, exactly 31 years, 32 years back. We had that leadership. Can we get into AI services leadership as well? I mean, you do your SOTA, you do your AGI, maro kato mujhe kya. But if you want to do real work, if you want to see performance gains in production, come to India, we'll deliver this, powered by SLMs. Opportunities are everywhere, whether it's education, health, finance, law. India has world's deployment lab, built for India and export to world, because you will have. The other good piece about this is, as Indians, we have a lot of data generation capacity. Go to any Twitter thread, go to any Instagram reel, see how much data we generate, right? We are the data generation powerhouses, so we can even generate this curated data set at very low cost. Jokes aside, the data set curation, the RLHF training piece, in India we can do at 1/10 of the cost. So we can actually lead SLM from both ends, from data curation and from our brain power. The only constraint, which was GPUs, is kind of no more. Okay, time's up. Sorry. Stop waiting for AGI, start building with SLMs. Small is strategic. I would say SLM should be named to either expert language model, efficient language models, or if Indians take it forward, we should name it to ILM, is intelligent language model, or Indian language model. Why not? Why not? That's all. I'm just one coffee away. This is my email ID. This you should note down, right? If any of you found this interesting, you want to talk about, you are working on these kind of problems, I'm happy, and I don't need the costly coffee. Darshini coffee, मेरे को तो filter coffee best लगता है भाई. 20 rupees में full पैसा वसूल. We can have 2 cups and we can talk about it. And that's all from my side. Thank you so much. थोड़ा जोर से बजा सकते हो यार. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tanay. It was definitely a very colorful session, I must say. Half of it I did not understand because I am not a tech chick, but are you judging me for it? No, nobody goes anywhere because we have a second session coming in. And I'm talking about somebody who is actually changing, again, the world on a very different dimension. All right. Okay, where are we going, guys? It's not lunchtime yet. How many of you are in a, human relationship? Can you raise your hands? Relationship, shadi, marriage. I'm not, I'm just teaching you how to do it because for some reason, you intelligent people do not know how to raise your hands. How many of you are in a relationship? Ladies and gentlemen. Half of you are like, I don't care, Shruti. 2 people are. All the other people, you know the reason today. You need to respond when somebody asks you a question. That is why you're all single. Then this can't be this bad, yaar. I mean, my jokes aren't this bad. I am disheartened, but this is not for the first time. So I know how to get back easily. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's keep on moving. Our next speaker is Suyash Singh. He is an he's an IITian. He's from IIT Madras with a master's degree in aerospace engineering. When I say that, I'm telling you, in my life, I had never thought that I'd be able to, be in the same room as an aerospace engineer, and is the visionary founder and CEO behind Galaxy, from leading India's first Hyperloop Pod project. Suyash's deep expertise in AI, big data, and engineering strategy is driving breakthrough innovation in satellite technology and Earth observation. Now, for the next session of Cypher 2025, let's welcome on stage Suyash Singh, everyone. Smile a little, everyone. It does not cost you anything.
Well, good morning. I hope you were not as stuck as me in the traffic. It was pretty bad. But thank you so much, AIM, to invite me here, and it's a wonderful, gathering, as I must say, and a wonderful introduction, by the way. I hope AI hasn't generated it, but we live in that era. Initially, I thought I've been called for some Air India conference where I'll get a gold membership, because a space guy coming into an AI conference is very odd, right? But when the organizers invited me, I thought there is some substance behind it. So, well, let's switch some gears and go to space for the next 15 minutes. Now, space, of course, is a different subject, is a subject where we always thought about ecology, environment, agriculture. Now, in the recent geopolitical events, we're thinking about defense and security, and so on and so forth. So let me kind of give you a little bit of 101 of where we are as a country, where we are as the space tech community today. Suyash, founder and CEO, Galaxy. I'm very happy to be here introducing space tech. This particular picture, if you just focus on for a moment, this is what we do on a day-to-day basis. You get up probably in the morning, open your phone, you either are ordering something on Zepto to get some food, or you are going to your office, you're going to use a car, or rather a ride-hailing app, be it Ola, or Uber, Rapido, and so on and so forth. Now imagine a world where GPS, which is powering all of these apps, doesn't work when it is cloudy, right? Rain or shine, GPS works, fortunately, but imagine a world when it doesn't work when it is cloudy. And when it is non-cloudy, it works. Fortunately, that doesn't happen in GPS, and we have all these 10-minute delivery things happening. We're a great country with all the 10-minute to 5-minute deliveries and whatnot. But unfortunately, this happens in other world, which is the satellite imaging world. Now, space tech, for all its hype, has only 3 applications. You build a rocket, you build a satellite, you build anything whatsoever, is only for three applications: communications, navigation, and Earth observation. Communication, we use it on a day-to-day basis, and one of my earlier speakers said Elon Baba doing a lot of things in that space. Sure, communication has been nailed by some of the companies across the world. You will have access from space, from ground, everywhere. Navigation, like I said, rain or shine, it always works. Just one thing doesn't work from space today at scale is imaging. And hence, we as consumers don't use it on a day-to-day basis. Now, why so? Because space imaging or cameras can't see through clouds. And Earth has a very different variable cloud cover everywhere. In the tropical regions, you have
larger cloud cover. In the non-tropical regions, you have lesser cloud cover. Satellite imagery is very intermittent, inconsistent because of the cloud cover, which is variable across the world. Now imagine you're building an application for agriculture. 2 months, there is monsoons, you have no imagery whatsoever. Hence, you've not seen companies building SaaS applications on top of satellite imagery. There's hardly a unicorn in the world, not in India, not just in India, in the world, who has been able to use satellite imagery and build an application that. But you must have seen unicorns which are built on navigation and communication. Now to solve this problem, a couple of options are available, and just to kind of, run it down. First option is take a camera, put it on a satellite, launch it through a SpaceX launch vehicle or a PSLV from India. You go to space, it's in the orbit, you start capturing images. That is optical. But whenever it is cloudy, you can't see through it. People also ventured into something else, because of this cloud problem, which is nothing but a synthetic aperture radar, or SAR. Now don't worry about it, there's not a radar lecture. SAR is very similar to how an X-ray image looks like. It can see through clouds, it can do nighttime imaging, but it's like X-ray. Only doctors can read it. You can't really understand it. So on one hand, you have an imagery like camera where this audience can do AI is not available. And then you have radar, or synthetic aperture radar, which is always available, where you will have to go through an extensive training to understand what it is. This world is struggling between these two to create more and more unicorns moving forward. And hence, inconsistent SLAs, or service level agreements, with the customers. This is what we are changing at Galaxy. We are building not just India's first, it's world's first multi-sensor satellite, combining SAR, synthetic aperture radar, and electro-optical, or rather camera, together on the same satellite to give out a data set which is called sync-fused optosar. Now, what does that mean? That means when you have clouds, you can't look at this multispectral image if it is fully cloudy. You'll only see a part of it. But with SAR image, you can see that image. But let's say if I haven't given you the right or the left, was it a pair of shoes or was it a pair of ships? You just can't understand it. What we are building is getting this image at the end of the day. By the way, we haven't launched the satellite yet. This is one of the simulated images to show you the difference. But interestingly, just imagine today over KTPO, there's no clouds. I'll have both the images, optical and SAR. Tomorrow, over KTPO, there is clouds. I will only have SAR, I will not have optical. What does one do on day 2? That is the reason why I'm here. We regenerate an optical from the SAR image. Like this. So we build satellites, and we have to use lesser annotated data, to use lesser data for all the training. By the way, I'm not very sure about all the terminologies like LVMs and LLMs, pardon me for that. But I'm collecting data on top of which a lot of AI models can be built. This data is super useful. Our journey so far has been very interesting, thankfully to a lovely team and the mentors that we have gotten. We started very humbly putting together a sensor stack on drones. Like Tanay said, we are a country where capital may not be as much available. So we can't build satellites, send it to space, and then reiterate. I can't run a for loop in space, right? But I can do jugaad, or rather innovation in India. We miniaturize the sensor stack that will go on satellites into a very small form factor. We put it on drones. We flew it like 200, 300 times, got the right imageries, validated it. Then we went to HAPS. Now, HAPS, again, is a new terminology, but the full form of HAPS is high altitude pseudo-satellites. So it actually hovers at 18 kilometers height from where you can do the imaging. Now, if you put it on a HAPS, you're almost touching space, right? Because that's where the atmosphere ends. So we tested it on a HAPS, got a lot of good data, and hence our sensor stack was kind of qualified. From there, we did a PSLV launch last year, December 2024. It was a wonderful launch. We went up to an altitude of 450 kilometers. On the same launch, SpaceX mission also happened, where we did the first proof of concept of Bharatiya Antariksh Station, which is BAS. And finally, we're geared up to provide world with an unparalleled data with Mission Drishti, launching in Q1 2026. Thank you. Now, this is getting launched on a SpaceX launch vehicle from Vandenberg in California. Now, what do we do after generating these images using satellite and then AI? Now we go about building the Ubers of the enterprises. The market is a little smaller when you see $2 billion in numbers, but it is smaller for a reason, right? It has been a niche market for a while. There were not many satellites that were launched until, say, last 5 years. Hardly, say, 10, 15 Earth observation satellites used to exist in 2015. Today, it's around 500 satellites, and we live in a world very shortly where we'll have 5,000 plus satellites imaging the Earth. Hence, a lot of use cases will get unlocked, and the use cases, I can just say some verticals, for example, defense and surveillance, maritime, agriculture, insurance, disaster management, aquaculture. But you just name it, any large real estate on Earth where you want to monitor it consistently. Say you want to monitor your farmhouse every 7 days throughout the year. We'll actually, a lot of satellite imagery companies, by the way, gives you a platform where you can go and draw an area of interest and task the satellite imagery, get that data, perform your analysis or AI. Our journey doesn't stop here. Our journey goes beyond that. We want to become the best satellite imagery data provider in the world. Our journey starts with Feb 26, launching one satellite, going all the way up to launching a constellation by 2030, 10 plus satellite constellation, and that's where we'll have a 3-hourly revisit of any point on Earth to be given to you. This is the best time to build a space company in India, be it on the downstream or on the upstream. Like Tanya was mentioning about the Chandrayaan moment, truly so. I was traveling to the US, meeting somebody in the strategic world, and he mentioned, India launched a Chandrayaan mission literally for the cost of a department in the US. So they will set up a department for, say, $75–100 million, for which we have really launched a Chandrayaan 3 mission. So we have the capability. We have the supply chain. In India, we're building the world's first technology to gather the right data. So what next? Next up is to build analytics, right? And I say very fondly and cheekily that if you are going to put an IoT device on an agricultural field across the India, or if you're going to put cameras and CCTV across the India on the rail and the roads and so on and so forth, vandalism is inevitable, unfortunately. So if we need a digital infrastructure to monitor the larger landscape of India, we need these solutions. And we are here to provide you all the right kind of data sets. Like I said, there are many use cases, starting with agriculture, disaster management, defense and intelligence, and utilities. A prime example, which I must call out here, is the defense and intelligence piece. I'm sure a lot of the audience would have heard about a company called Palantir. Awesome. Palantir has a product. It's called Gotham. Check it out. It's a platform where US Department of Defense does all its intelligence. Although it's a data aggregation platform, it's kind of an AI platform that gives you all the data at one place to perform, a specific use case that a DoD user would want. The reason why I brought it out is we work in an industry, or rather, defense is an industry where the data cannot go out of the premises. The data will always be with them because it's the question of intelligence. Now, Palantir wonderfully trained its talent to work in an air-gapped environment where the data hasn't been shared here and there. The deployment strategist planned the deployment where they can't leak the data or they can't use data from outside. They have to use the data what was available to them. They took their solutions to their premises and innovated maybe on the edge or innovated around the strategies of training. So one good thing about this is a lot of people who have come out of Palantir have gone in building probably one of the best models in the industry, starting with Claude, Llama, and so on and so forth. So you should definitely consider, a Palantir-like model. And one of the data set that is available is from Galaxy. I think I've repurposed my space slides for your AI thinking as much as possible. But thank you so much for having me here. And this was me. Happy to take any questions if anyone has.
Okay, we're only taking 2 questions, so make sure that your question is worth it. Please. Okay, Tanay, you're a funny guy. Must give you that. In a good way, though. What's your name?
Shivam.
Yeah, hi.
Yeah, hello, Suyash. So, according to the strategy, we're looking forward for maybe a 3-year revisit. So, currently, if we talk about the existing product like Google Eye or something, all the information of the globe is not.
I can't just hear you.
Hello, is it?
Yeah, it's better.
So, current Google mapping system, all the information on the globe is not publicly available. So, if you're looking forward to have like a 3-year update, will that be the same situation with this product as well? We'll have to comply to maybe defense secrets or maybe defense guidelines, something like that.
Great question. I think what your question is, by the way, he's from my institute, IIT Madras, and I've not planted this question. So, see, Google Maps, whatever it gives you, is a combination of an aerial imagery or the imagery that is 6 months old. So you can't take Google Maps if you are working with a time-critical use case. Forget defense, but let's say you want to monitor crop over the next 3 months or a season, you can't rely on a Google imagery that was available, say, 6 months back. Now, the Google imagery will only give you 3 bands, which is RGB, red, green, and blue. It will never give you NIR, near infrared, SWIR bands, or SAR information, which is much more useful for an agricultural use case. So to answer your question, idea for us is to update and build our own Google Map-like solution, but we are not a mapping company.
Yeah, got it. Just a context. What if China doesn't want its farming fields to be visible from this part of the world, maybe due to some global strategy?
Interesting question. So we have land boundaries, then we have sea boundaries, and then we have an air boundary, or rather an airspace. Airspace is only limited up to 18 kilometers. Above that, you can launch as many satellites as you can. The only thing is you need to get registered with the United Nations of Outer Space Affairs. If you're not registered, then you're not the legal satellite there.
Thank you.
All right.
Hi, this is Naveen. Hi. So when I looked at your case, I have few doubts. So one is like when you are making a fusion, so you are taking the live image of the scan, and then you are taking yesterday's image of the same place, and then you are trying to fuse it, right? So how are you making sure like you are getting the live content? Now let's say today there is an object, maybe in a defense area, and then yesterday's picture there was no object. So how are you making a fuse? So this is one
Great
part
question.
which I didn't get the context. And the second part, when you mentioned there is a cloud, so you can't see it, what is happening live on the ground. So this is only restricted to where when there is a monsoon, when there are clouds. So you are adding an extra step during the monsoon, which is giving a lot of value. But with all other part of the day, like when there was no monsoon, all other seasons. So this becomes an additional cost to the solution because you can get a direct image and then you can process it. So what is the idea behind going for this solution?
So let me answer the first question. So it's not just the fusion on a computer vision based. It's actually taking a series of images over the time and then training on the targets, right? So it's like the radar dielectric constant on a particular pixel gets correlated to the reflectivity from the optical, and that's how the model gets built, right? So if there are 10 trucks standing on this road, and it wasn't cloudy today, and I have both the images, tomorrow, if there are only 3 trucks standing on that road, we'll only show you 3 trucks because the correlation is working. Coming to your added cost, if what you're saying is true, we would have been living in a world where you would have seen at least a bunch of unicorns built on satellite imagery. They're not built because different sunlight conditions everywhere across India is very different. For example, 10:30 a.m. in the morning when you land at the Bangalore airport, there's a lot of glare. So the reflectivity changes throughout the entire day. So it's not just about, only during the clouds, but there are more nuances, why you collect a radar imagery, right? Also during the night. So maybe if your use case is just say once every 3 months where you can wait for one good imagery to come up, then you're done. Then you don't need a satellite imagery solution like this. But if you have a time critical use case where you're monitoring the commodities on a day-to-day basis, say for example, hedge funds do that a lot. They would need some data to rely on. But thanks for the question. Wonderful. Thank you so much, everyone, and glad to be here.
Thank you very much, Suyash. I believe that to all the people who have many, many questions and ideas, this session must have been very intriguing. Let's proceed ahead to the next session. Our next speaker is Alejandra Otero, and she's the Chief of Staff at 11 Labs, where she leads strategic projects and supports the international go-to-market team as the company expands globally. Now for the next session of Cypher 2025, let's welcome on stage Alejandra Otero, everyone.
Perfect. Hello, everyone. It's great to be here today. I'm super excited to be sharing some perspectives on how we're thinking about the future of voice AI at 11 Labs. But first, we want to start this session by asking you to do something. So we would like you to read the sentence on the screen with your own voice. And while you do that in your head, please pay attention to your tone and any micro pauses in your speech. So maybe we read it all together. A blue sky was above, and the gentle song of birds filled the air. Now, let's try something different. Let's try the same sentence, and now imagine it in your head with Morgan Freeman's voice. So you probably realized that we didn't change the words here, but the delivery was different, right? Morgan Freeman has a deep, booming voice, has a Tennessee, Memphis accent, and the way he talks just conveys warmth, entertainment. It's a soothing voice, at least more soothing than mine. Let's try another one. So this time, Homer Simpson, and I'll give you a few minutes. It's different again, right? This time, the voice is gravelly, it's cartoonish, and the delivery this time is much more slurry. And let's try a final one, this time with Prime Minister Narendra Modi's voice. And here again, you'll notice that we didn't change the content, but this time, the voice was a local voice, and it was able to convey cultural it was able to add this cultural touch to it. These 4 times, it was the same words, the same information that was being delivered, but it felt really different. And that's the power of voice. So now I'd like to take a second to introduce myself.
ಹಲೋ, ನಾನು ಅಲೆಹಾಂದ್ರ. ಇಂದು ನಾನು ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವುದಕ್ಕೆ ತುಂಬ ಸಂತೋಷವಾಗಿದೆ.
So maybe that was a bit less volume that we...
ಹಲೋ, ನಾನು ಅಲೆಹಾಂದ್ರ. ಇಂದು ನಾನು ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವುದಕ್ಕೆ ತುಂಬ ಸಂತೋಷವಾಗಿದೆ.
Thank you. So that was the dub version of my voice into Kannada. And for those like me that only speak English here today, I'm Alejandra. Super excited to be here. I'm part of the go-to-market team at 11 Labs. And I focus on supporting our teams as we grow internationally. But now let's go back to our conversation on voice AI. At 11 Labs, we believe strongly that voice is the most natural form of communication. And the reason why the way we interact with technologies today is that if you think about it, and we were just seeing in these previous examples, voice is very complex. It has multiple dimensions. There's inflection, pauses, intonation, different languages, pacing, even mistakes. And traditional technologies had not been able to capture all of this. By focusing on generating speech word by word, they were missing all of these nuances, and the result were the robotic voices that we've all heard in the past that were really not able to drive real connection and emotion with the end user. That's the problem that our founders, Matti and Piotr, set to solve when founding 11 Labs. They had experienced firsthand the pain of having voices that don't match the quality of the content. They both grew up in Poland, and still today it's the case that when many cases, when English content is dubbed into Polish, they use the same voice actor, a male voice, across all the characters. Not only the male ones, but also the female ones, which, as you can imagine, is a terrible experience. What they also realized is that this is not a Polish-only issue. This is an issue worldwide that happens because the dubbing industry is not able to fulfill demand globally because of budget constraints and because of the shift in media landscape. They also realized that this is not a dubbing issue only. Every time the audio technology lags, the end customer ends up suffering. So they saw this opportunity and decided to go after it, so left their jobs at Palantir, which is a company that was mentioned actually extensively in the previous talk, and Google, to start 11 Labs. And the company started in 2022. We launched our first product at the beginning of 2023, and it's been a crazy journey so far. Today, we're lucky to have over 40 million users globally and are backed by some of the leading VCs in the world, and also very proudly some of the largest companies in the world. We've also been lucky to partner with incredible customers such as Times, NVIDIA, Perplexity, and also companies here in India, like the e-commerce platform Meesho, Cars24, or on the content creation side, InVideo and Pocket FM, as well as many more. Our main focus as a company is to build the single most important platform for AI audio. And we have the vision of making eventually content universally accessible across any language, voice, and sound. In short, we spend a lot of effort in building the best-in-class research for AI audio, and also building the products on top that can make all of these discoveries easily accessible. We've built an end-to-end platform that is very easy to use and can service almost any audio-related workflow that you can think about. And with our models, we're able to generate not only voices, but also sounds, and since this summer, music. But let me just show you how this looks like.
Future looks like wow. Oh wow. It's like wow. Yeah. Future looks like wow.
Once upon a time in the narrow streets of London.
It's like wow.
Tools and just sharing so much. आमंत्रित कर रहे हैं. मैं बहुत आभारी हूँ. अरे ये कितने अच्छे आदमी हैं.
Call it in now, hit him with the best shot. Bring it in now, burn him with the high. Making moves, making moolah. Bada bing, bada boo, yeah. Get loose, get ready for this, It's all brand new, yeah. Catch a ride to the future. Let me introduce, yeah.
Aye, lad, there's magic in these old bones yet.
Watch out, big world. I'm small, but I'm mighty.
It's coming up right now. Coming up right now, and it's looking like how? Future looks like wow, and it starts right now. It's like wow.
Hey, can I check the status of my order?
Yes, of course. Your order is due to arrive at around 2 p.m.
Oh wow, and it starts right now. Future looks like wow. Oh wow. And it starts right now.
Let us bring humankind together as one.
Oh wow. And it starts right now. Yeah. Future looks like wow. Oh wow.
Wow, right? So now we want to talk a bit about how we've seen the market evolve over these years, which is also how we've built our platform around these trends. First, one of the big themes, which was the one where we started building our platform around, is one way, which is around using audio AI technologies to generate content. Over time, the market has evolved towards this second theme, which is around building voice agents that can actually power two-way communication. And today we wanted to show you some real-life examples of how we're seeing these themes be deployed in the real world. So first, starting with creative applications, here we've seen the latest audio AI technologies really reimagine what is possible in terms of creative expression. For example, with our latest V3 Alpha model, which is the most expressive text-to-speech model that has been released to date, we've seen creators really reimagine what is possible in terms of generating audiobooks, podcasts, and even movie content. We've worked with companies such as Pocket FM, who have been able to reduce their content production costs by 90% by using our text-to-speech models. But again, let's not just say it, let us show you how.
अरे माया, तुमने नई 11v3 के बारे में सुना क्या?
अभी जस्ट सुना। इट्स सो कूल यार। देखो, अब मैं ये भी कर सकती हूँ। मेरा जादू छा गया।
क्या बात है? अब ये सुनो, मोगैम्बो, खुश हुआ?
काफी सही।
Another big use case that we've seen of the technology is with dubbing. And here, one specific example that we're very proud about was when we partnered with the podcast host Lex Friedman, and we helped dub his interview with Prime Minister Narendra Modi. And in this situation, we were able to make it possible for each participant to speak in their local language. We recorded both sessions, and then we are able, with our technology, to make the full conversation available both in Hindi and in English.
Your own spirituality in your quiet moments, आप ईश्वर के साथ होते हैं, तो आपका मन कहाँ जाता है? मंत्र इसमें कैसे मदद करता है? When you're fasting, when you're just alone with yourself.
The word meditation has been overused to the point तो बड़ा भारी शब्द बन गया है। हमारे यहाँ भाषा में एक साधा शब्द है ध्यान। If I associate ध्यान to meditation, it might seem burdensome to some. ये तो हम कर सकते ही नहीं, कैसे कर सकते हैं? हम कोई आध्यात्मिक पुरुष तो है।
Thank you. So, voice AI is widely being used today for creative applications. We've seen some today, but it's also being used more widely across storytelling, entertainment, education, and many other content production use cases. As we were saying earlier, this same technology can also be used today to power two-way conversations. So it is possible today to build agents that can not only speak, but they can also listen and act. We're seeing these agents being deployed today across industries like customer support, e-commerce, interactive education, and being able to deliver true business value. And again, we wanted to show some real-life examples. One of the industries that have been most impacted by voice AI is, not surprisingly, customer support. Here, we're working with many customers that are now being able to build customer support agents that are available 24/7 and also available during search times, which is quite important in countries with big populations like India. Here, for example, we're very proud of our partnership with Misho, who have leveraged our technology to deploy customer agents in their platform that are available in both Hindi and English and are able to solve customer queries around order updates, cancellations, and deliveries. Today, we're handling over 60,000 calls, And after deploying this technology, Meesho has been able to decrease their cost per call by 75%. But maybe, like me, before I saw how our agents work in the real world and having experienced the traditional IVR experience, which was quite frustrating, you might be a bit skeptical. So again, we wanted to show you.
Hi, welcome to Meesho. How can I help you today?
Hey, so what's happening with my two orders? I have ordered few things, and yesterday I got a text that I'm gonna receive my order today, but nobody showed up, and it's showing that delivery was unsuccessful or something. Today also I received an SMS that they are gonna deliver the product, but nobody showed up.
I get your concern about the delivery issue. For your order with ID 8851121374310054, please wait until 8 p.m. today. The delivery agent will ensure it reaches you safely. Thank you for your patience.
So believe it or not, the agent here was not a real person. It was powered by our technology. Now I want to talk about another use case or industry where we've seen voice AI technology being deployed, and this is in education. It's been widely used for learning and development and interactive experiences. And here, something very cool that we've done is partnering up with Supernova to offer a personalized tutoring solution in Tamil.
Let's see how Supernova actually works. Starting the activity.
Hi there, நான் நோவா, உங்க AI இங்கிலீஷ் டீச்சர். நீங்க இங்கிலீஷ் கத்துக்கிறதுக்கான காரணம் என்ன? நீங்க இங்கிலீஷ்லயோ இல்ல தமிழ்லயோ ரிப்ளை பண்ணலாம்.
நான் ஒரு இன்டர்வியூக்கு போறேன். ஸோ இன்டர்வியூல நல்லா பேசணும். அதுக்காக ஐ வாண்ட் டு கிவ் அ பெஸ்ட் ஷாட்.
நல்லா இன்டர்வியூ பண்ணணும்னு நீங்க நினைக்கிறது சூப்பர். இங்கிலீஷ் ஃப்ளூயன்சி இம்ப்ரூவ் பண்றதுக்கு டெய்லி பிராக்டிஸ் தான் கீ. அதுக்கு தான் நான் இருக்கேன். நீங்க என்கிட்ட 24/7 அன்லிமிட்டடா பிராக்டிஸ் பண்ணலாம். இப்படி ரெகுலர் பிராக்டிஸ் பண்ணினா இன்டர்வியூல கான்ஃபிடென்ட்டா பேச முடியும். இந்த அப்ரோச் உங்களுக்கு புரியுதா?
So we've also seen a huge impact not only in language learning and this tutoring type of scenarios, but when it comes to internal training for companies. So we've worked with companies like the global call center company Telos Digital, who have been able to reduce the time it takes to train their new employees by 70% using simulations powered by AI technology. And now we wanted to also share the last use case, this one I'm personally quite excited about. It's all about deploying personal assistants into the products that we already know and love, and just making them available to interact with via voice. So here we've partnered with Perplexity and built this functionality for making it possible to make booking reservations via OpenTable.
Dinner for two to celebrate the moment? Perplexity is a new way to book your next reservation. Start with a question. Top Italian restaurants in San Francisco with romantic ambience and great cacio e pepe. Explore your options, find a day that works best for you, and make a reservation for two.
There's a 7 p.m. available for a party of two. Want me to book it?
Sounds great. Go ahead and book it.
Your reservation has been booked via OpenTable.
Discover, plan, and book with Perplexity.
Thank you. So the opportunity, as you can see, is huge, but so are the expectations. Most people expect that these voice agents will behave or be able to deliver the same, not only the same experience as humans, but also in some ways better experiences sometimes, to be always available, to speak many languages. But we've actually found that, bringing agents into production is not trivial. And we wanted to share also some of the points that we've found in our experience that can really make or break these deployments. First of all is latency. As you can imagine, super important. Responses need to be sub-second to be able to deliver natural conversations. Otherwise, the user experience is just broken. Second, turn taking and interruption handling. Agents must know when to stop talking, when to start talking again. If they're interrupted, they need to be able to understand what they've been interrupted with and pick up the conversation with the new context. Then, voice quality and personalization. We've seen it earlier in the first example. It's super important that the voice matches the use case. You, for example, don't want to have Homer Simpson answering the phone if you're calling your bank to ask about some issue with your credit card, right? Then comes the choice of LLMs, and here what we're really talking about is optimizing or choosing the LLM based on what you're optimizing for. So do you want really high quality responses, but that are maybe a bit more creative? Do you want to reduce hallucinations? Are you most concerned about cost cutting? Different models will be chosen in each case. Then multimodality. Customers expect that they're able to not only interact via voice, but also via text, which is how some of the first chatbots were deployed. And then finally, this won't surprise anyone, but when deploying agents in enterprises, it's important that you're able to oversee how these agents are behaving, to be able to audit the conversations, to be able to track them at scale, and also have deployments that fulfill with SOC regulations, GDPR, and local regulations as well. To wrap it up, and to discuss a bit where we see the future of voice going, today we are increasingly seeing voice becoming the default interface. Over time, we expect that cross-lingual real-time communication will make it possible for anyone to be understood with their voice anywhere, in any language, and while maintaining their cultural nuances. We also expect to start to see over time agents that are able to handle many different types of tasks and that are as easy to interact with as talking with a friend. Over time, we aim to reach human-level voice in real time, and our vision is that voice AI will go from being a tool to being the main form of human connection. And now let's talk a bit about what brings us here today. So we launched India, I believe, almost a year ago. Today is one of our largest and fastest growing markets. We've been super impressed about the pace and eagerness that Indian companies have been demonstrating when it comes to adopting AI audio. And this is a market that we're super bullish and excited about. And that's why we've invested in data residency to be able to provide the best latency to our customers and also a service that is compliant with local regulations. In our library of over 5,000 voices that we host today, we have many that are India-specific voices that also cater to the accents. And we also have a local team of around 10 people that are here today, so please come and meet us later. I'll share the booth. But I also want to wrap it up by mentioning our 11 grants program, which is also really big in India today. We have over 500 companies that have started to work with us via this program. And the idea here is to make voice AI accessible to the best talent to build from anywhere, without cost being a barrier. So if this is something that could be interesting for you, please feel free to go into the link that is on the top right and learn more. And yeah, if you have any questions, we're here with our local team in booth number 25, so please come and meet us. Thanks so much, and thanks for the host.
Thank you so much, to all of you for being here, ladies and gentlemen, and I would like to thank Alejandra once again. We will be getting back in the auditorium at 1:25. So do make sure that after the lunch, you all come back here for the next amazing sessions that we have. My name is Shruti Tripathi. I will see you soon.